Dragon Link end boards be like, finally, spheres.
Alright, what's going on, guys? The Worst Duelist. So today I'm coming at you with my Dragon Link deck profile. This is something that I've been playing around with for probably about 2 months now. A lot of people have really helped me going into trying to sort of solve and tweak this deck, which still isn't done. I mean, you can kind of tell by even just the lists that are posted from event results that the deck still isn't kind of like clearly solved. We have definitely moved into more of a grind game sort of style of play, but it's not like a full-on control deck. And I also wouldn't even go as far to like label it a mid-range deck. But I'm kind of rambling here, so but something I do definitely want to get out of the way is I don't normally do shoutouts in my videos, but I definitely have quite a few shoutouts because you know, oftentimes whenever I post a list, it's usually just from my own head. It's something that I have kind of put hours into just like personally myself, asking for advice here and there, but a lot of the core changes to most of the lists that I end up posting on the channel are of my own creation to a degree. But that is definitely not the case with this list, obviously, just from gathering data from not only just the internet, but also, you know, shout out to pretty much all the boys that helped me, you know, Dre, Jad, Ricky, my buddy Austin. Check out his channel, Dollhouse YGO. Him and I actually play very different lists. He doesn't post a whole ton, but he's helped me a lot with this deck list. I consulted Deadly here and there on the deck as well. But yeah, big shout out to all the guys that have really tried, you know, and sat down and taken a positive light to trying to progress this deck instead of just giving up on it. But anyway, that's all completely irrelevant to the video, so we'll just get right into the list from here. I won't really explain a whole ton because it is Dragon Link, but on some card choices where I feel I do have to pipe up or a ratio, then I will definitely explain. So we are going with the triple Seyfert route. I am not playing the black metal or the darkness metal in the main deck. I'm just playing the 3 Seyfert and kind of relying on that as like the main normal summon. And then we have black and white to go along with that, of course. So we're going with the triple Nocto. I know a lot of people are still on the fence about, do we play 3 of this? Do we play this at all? Do we play World Legacy Guard Dragon? Do we play 3 of this and 3 World Legacy Guard Dragon? I ended up cutting my World Legacy Guard Dragons for the Noctos, the additional copies of Nocto. I always played 1 in most iterations of this deck over the past couple months, but I've kind of settled on the 3 is the most consistent in the regard of it's just like, a lot of people have said before, it's just an extender that's going to give you more advantage. Also, it helps you play out hands with Chaos Space a little bit easier, whereas something like World Legacy Guard Dragon would not. But yeah. So then we have 1 Levianeer, 1 Brotar, and yeah, that's kind of just like our additional dragons. Of course, the Levy being a bomb. I know a lot of people are dropping the Brotar, but I feel like as just a very consistent like game ender after we are like bouncing the spheres, specialing this, and giving us the consistency of getting Chaos Dragon Levianeer as our game ender is kind of what I'm going with this. I kind of just value that too much. Also, the sneaky Brotar out of grave or hand is always nice as well, so I have left it in. But yeah, so that's kind of the non-archetypal dragons that we have in the deck. And then we'll move on to the Dragon Maid package. We have 1 Chamber, and then I'm also playing 1 Parlor. So I will explain myself on this one. So the main reason I'm not playing double Chamber is because I don't have double Chamber. Otherwise, I probably would kind of end up conforming to the fact that you know, Chamber's dark. It is going to consistently get us to the trap, of course. You know, there's just a lot of pluses to playing the Chamber Dragon Maid. However, the Parlor Dragon Maid, of course, being able to be kind of sort of like your 5th normal summon, but doing a lot more than just normal summoning a Chamber, like on its own, because this is effectively like normal summoning Seyfert. Because you summon Parlor, you dump the trap, you make a Striker, you search Boot, you special back Parlor, you make Romulus, so on and so forth. You can go into Ruler, you can go into Savage, you know, whatever you want to do there. But depending on the composition of your hand, things can go differently. But that's kind of the way that I was looking at the card. Obviously, it being a wind is rather unfortunate. But I will say now that I'm playing triple tidying, just due to the fact that we're going to be burning 1 off the Parlor if we do end up using it for that reason. But, you know, I digress. I have liked it so far. at locals, my buddy actually played this in tournaments. He ended up going 3-2, I think, with this list. I played something else because, you know, he's been out of the game. He doesn't have cards, but he was wanting to play Dragon Link, and he said he actually thoroughly enjoyed the Parlor Dragon Maid. And my buddy Austin is also kind of in the same boat with me on the Parlor. So I feel like there's an argument for the card, is the TLDR and all that. I feel like there's an argument to play the card, but, you know, it definitely does have its downsides, and you do kind of lose out in the ways of consistency of getting to your tidings. But again, like, I've tried to make up for that fact by playing 3. So for the rocket engine, we have the triple tracer, 1 recharger, double rocket synchron, and 1 abs. So this is also an engine that changes constantly. Not so much this side of the engine, but I'll cut this to 2 a lot and put in the second abs, and then I'll just put this back to 3, and then I'll cut it to 2, and then I'll put it to 3, and then I'll put this to 1. But you know what I'm saying. This is some of the ratios that I've really played around with, and I've kind of just conceded to the fact that if we open Rocket Tracer, it just makes our opening hands a lot better, like alongside a competent starter, so that it's like one less card we have to search to. Like we can skip a step in the ways of like going in the Romulus, dumping the abs to get into the Tracer. We can just kind of completely skip the Romulus line altogether and just go straight for Erratic Spheres, which of course will give us a little bit more resiliency through like a Nibiru or something. But yeah, this is kind of what I've gone with now. It's probably still subject to change. I'm a big fan of double abs. It's something that I have kind of done from the start with this deck, but it's like, I don't know, especially with Nocto in the main deck, whenever you have, you know, the safer play to safer send abs to search Nocto, to search Rocket Tracer, I feel like that does add a lot of value, but that's kind of, you know, it's a 2-card combo. Abs would be only a 2-of to begin with, but it can go like either way. I don't know, it gets tricky whenever you add Phantasme into the mix as well, but that's kind of where I've landed with the Rocket Engine right now. So the next card is something that I definitely do want to talk about for just a moment. Try not to ramble on too much about it, but I'm playing the Chaos Creator. The first time I played this deck post-ban list in a real tournament was actually a week before the ban list was even officially legal. I played a PPG, it was like 120 plus, I think it was like 125 or something, but they played the new list. I went in with something quite similar to this, but I included the Chaos Creator in my main deck, and oftentimes it was like the best card in my deck. And I noticed, well actually shortly after that tournament, I was kind of contemplating on some of my losses, and it was due to bricking on this guy, just like no way to get him out, but also, you know, I'll come back to that. But what I ended up doing was I ended up taking him out and putting in the Chaos Emperor Dragon of Armageddon, the prize card, the Pendulum guy. And then I noticed more and more people were playing the Pendulum card, so I was like, okay, so maybe this was the right call to try this card out. So I ended up playing with the Chaos Emperor Dragon more and more, and I'm like, I don't know, I've lost a couple games in time to this guy too, so I ended up, you know, taking it out, but then missing, of course, the recursion that card provides in the ways of being able to recycle your banished cards, like your Striker and so on. But then I recently went back to it, I think it was like literally just 2 days ago, I went back to it and was like, you know what, there's very, very little reason to play the Chaos Emperor Dragon over the Chaos Curator, outside of the fact that like maybe you can search it with Rotar and like summon it off spheres. Actually, I don't think you can summon it off spheres, but the way I was looking at it is the Chaos Creator just does the same thing as that card, but it's strictly just better. Because like we're never going to use the Chaos Emperor Dragon's monster effect. Like it's cool and cheesy, but like we're just never going to do that. And I feel like there is no world, to be honest, where if you play Rotar and you summon it off spheres, I feel like there's just no world where you don't search Levianeer. So I don't know, I kind of thought about it more recently, and I put the Chaos Creator back in, because this guy is going to provide not only the recursion and the recyclability and more of like a critical mass in the ways of targeting 3 monsters, but he's also going to extend your plays by special summoning back one of those 3 monsters. So I feel like you just get more value out of playing this guy, and you kind of lose very little in the ways of like, the argument is like, oh, he's a thunder, and the other guy's a dragon, but I mean, to be honest, every time, and even the guy that got second at that YCS said, every time I summoned Chaos Emperor Dragon, it was just rank 8 fodder. I never really use it for anything else, or even like maybe like generic link fodder for like an Appaloosa play, which this actually helps out a lot more. It makes your Appaloosa board's a lot more consistent. So yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of still on the fence if I even play either of them or just play something else and like all together. Like I took Call by the Grave out of my deck. I figured maybe that could be something that could come back in. But I feel like right now what this card offers is kind of just invaluable to a degree. So we are going to stick it out with the Chaos Creator and you know, kind of test it out some more. So for the hand traps, we got a lot of self-explanatory stuff here. I mean, Ash is just a broken card. Then we play Valor and we play Nibiru. The Nibiru's are actually originally Phantasmes when my buddy played the tournament and ended up going 3-2. But we kind of decided after the fact in some casual games we were playing that the Nibiru main deck is probably just better, and we just move the Phantasme to the side or just take it out altogether. But obviously, one of the big selling points of these cards here is their lights, and you need to be able to have playables through Chaos Space, which is why we're not including Bell. And the only thing about Ash is it's just too good to pass up. Like, the card is just too strong. There's just no reason not to play Ash Blossom in pretty much any format in Yu-Gi-Oh! Spells, of course, triple space, triple launch. There's really nothing to talk about here. One Ravine, one Boot. You just got to play all these cards. In regards to World Legacy Guard Dragon, I am honestly, personally, a very big fan of the card, but I ended up, like I said, I ended up cutting it for the Noctos, and I've liked it a lot so far, just because of the fact that I felt like while the Noctos can also lead to unplayables, I feel like it will generate more playable hands through the ways of like a Chaos Space, or like hands where you open like just Chamber, or like you open the Brotar, whereas the World Legacy Guard Dragon could provide something similar, but you're getting more value out of the Nocto, and especially in terms of Chaos Space, it just leads to more playables in that regard just in general, so that's definitely nice. And the last is the triple of the Tidying. I feel like 3 of this is just kind of the move in general. I know a lot of people like the 2-2, but I feel like just 3 of this, no matter what your ratio on the monster side of things is just the way. Because this is going to be your ability to grind. Like, having 3 of this, opening this card's insane. Because, sure, if like you open this and it makes it to where you're going to end on Sphere's Pass, you have this card still, without having to do anything. And then on a follow-up, you can go into a Romulus, you can go into Pitch, Send Chamber, Special Back, add another one, and you can just kind of keep the grind game up there, you know, as well. It makes your going first board stronger if you have combo. It makes your going first board strong if you don't have combo. The only thing that is really bad about it is going second is kind of an issue when you play 3. But if you can get into a Romulus line and it resolves, then you're kind of just can play the slow game at that point. If you can push past whatever's there, but you know, if you have enough hand traps or whatever, or just a way to get through, having 3 could probably prove to be very useful going second as well, if you can get into that grind state. And I feel like if you can't get into that grind game state, then you probably weren't winning that game anyway. So that's kind of just my theory with the triple trap. I have really liked it. I've only recently started playing triple trap, but so far it's done wonders. And also it came up quite a few times in the local tournament that my buddy piloted this deck in. So but to be fair, he also did say that he wishes there was only 2 sometimes, just because of like some minor consistency issues. But again, like I said, he hasn't played in a while, so maybe he thinks that like because this is a combo deck, we need to be going combo, combo, combo every single turn 1, which in reality you can play a bit of a slower game with the Dragon Link deck going forward. But anyway, we'll move on to the extra deck. A lot of this I don't really have to say nothing about. Striker, Pisty, this honestly rarely ever comes up for me, and I think it's probably because I took out World Legacy Guard Dragon. I used to play 2, and then after I cut World Legacy Guard Dragon, I just put the 1 in. I feel like a lot of the time this just gets thrown away in place of there only being 1 Striker Dragon. Triple Spheres, I feel like this is kind of mandatory nowadays. I honestly really like the Triple Spheres, but I also like the Triple Trap. 1 Romulus, 1 Quad, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Chaos Ruler, 1 Savage, 1 Hot Red Dragon Abyss. So I feel like this is kind of more like the core of what you should be running in a Dragon Link extra deck nowadays. Not really a ton to say about all of these cards, and then I will kind of just show the 4 slots that I ended up filling for like my tech options. So we played IP because it's just a good option to go into after you're locked into darks. I don't know, I don't summon it a whole ton, but I feel like there is value in playing the card alongside the Unicorn, because if you do a board that's like a Spheres Tidying IP, then you have like options at your disposal. Like you can go for a Brotar and then pitch a card, and then you could either tidying or IP it away and make the unicorn, or however you want to do it. Or if you have a Dragon Maid engraved, then you know you can do a lot of stuff, like you can tidying back your Brotar, special back your Dragon Maid, and then make unicorn. So I felt like there was also some merit to playing this as well. Also for like when we're going second, it can be potentially helpful. And then one Appaloosa for boards where you can make Appaloosa, which again, like I said, the Chaos Creator definitely does help in the ways of getting you to that Appaloosa for 3 under your spheres, alongside like a hot red and a tidying. Definitely something that came up a lot when I played in that PPG as well. And then the last card in the extra deck is the Sanafon, the Sky Prison. A lot of people play the Zombie Stein, and I feel like the Zombie Stein could be like generically better, but I don't know. The way I feel about Zombie Stein is like, it's just another hot red, which is completely fine and all, but hot red is just a lot more consistent than Zombie Stein, just overall. But I feel like the matchups for Sanafon is going to be very good. It's going to be very, very good, like game-winningly good. Of course, the main reason that I included this in a lot of my like iterations of the extra deck is Drytron is a deck, so this is just excellent against Drytron, of course. But even like going in blind, if you have the ability to make a rank 8, I feel like I'd rather go for the blanket effect, the Abyss Dweller like effect, than going into the Zombie Sign like negate and they just punch over him because he has 1,000 defense. Because I mean, you got to remember this guy can't be destroyed by card effects. He gets big as well. He gains 100 attack and defense for each monster in the grave, and neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. So I feel like just the way that Yu-Gi-Oh is, that is just kind of an invaluable floodgate. It's kind of the most iffy card, I think, in these 4 slots. Definitely something that is subject to change, I'm not sure. But so far, I've really liked the Sanafon just overall. It has its merit against, like, when you go first against Try, you can turn off a Revolt that they're trying to do on, like, some sort of, like, follow-up. But I don't know. I'm not really too sure about the Sanafon. It's good against pranks as well, because if they try to like if you stop their initial prank kid and they try to go for like a poly play, which is like their only way out anyway to get into a rocket ride, you just kind of tell them no on that regard as well. But yeah, that's kind of the 4 slots that I was playing. I'm not going to show the side because I just feel like it's quite irrelevant. But yeah, this is the Dragon Link deck profile. This is what I have been working with. This has kind of been like my main deck for, like I said, for like the past 2 months. And I'm going to continue messing with it going forward. I've tried a lot of stuff with the deck. I'm probably going to make a more of a long form style video as well, where I kind of just go over a lot of the options that you could play in the deck and just kind of see, you know, pretty much lay out like where the merit is and where the downside is of playing each sort of like engine that people have been messing with since the banning of the LP. But this is what I'm working with right now. The triple tidying has been fantastic, and once again, just shout out to everyone that has helped me with the deck. Sorry if the video ran on a little long. I did have a lot to say about the cards. I did have something to say about, but don't forget to like, comment, sub, so on and so forth. My socials will be down below. Still working on trying to figure out when I'm going to get back on Twitch and do all that. But yeah, that's all I got, and I'll see you next time, guys.